Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Welcome to this week's episode of Brewed for Business. My guest today, Brittany Cole.
Hello.
Can't wait for you guys to get to know more about her. As always, just want to let you guys know today we are in LaPorte, Colorado. Beautiful out, almost too beautiful. It's like hot. 2 days ago, I was wearing like winter clothing, and then yesterday I was wearing shorts and flip flops. So it's beautiful.
Welcome to Colorado.
Right. And today we're at Me Oh My Coffee Shop, which is such a cool spot. They feature food from all local farms. They feature pottery and stuff from like local pottery. Here we go. Cheers. This is from Judson Pottery locally. They help with that morning fresh dairy, Hazelton Farm, Wander Coffee, Kids Bagels, and a lot of other local farms in the Fort Collins area here in Colorado. So cool to see. And they make everything fresh, which the menu looks amazing. We can't wait to partake ourselves. But homemade pies and anything in between, it looks absolutely amazing. So
yeah, farm to tables right up my alley.
Yes, it's perfect. So Brittany, how did you come to be in Colorado?
Funny story. So in college, I was dating a guy, and he was from Colorado. He said that, he wanted to move back, and Colorado was on my list. And so we talked about it, and that's how I got out here and moved out here with him.
Yeah. And where were you before?
Kentucky. So I graduated from the University of Kentucky. I'm a double major, double minor, double emphasis. Did a lot of school in 6.5 years. But yeah.
What did you go to school for?
So my majors are business and marketing. My double emphasis is in communications, persuasive speaking and interpersonal speaking, and then community leadership development is another one. So yeah.
So what part of Kentucky are you from?
I'm from the Bluegrass. So Lexington, horse capital of the world. That's where I grew up. So it was the perfect spot to grow up. I grew up farming and ranching. We have family, friends, and family members out in Montana, and we have farms in Kentucky. We have farms in Indiana. So
all over.
Yeah, 7 generations.
So I love Kentucky. I had a friend of mine that lived in Paris, and I was able to stay with her for a little while.
Yep.
And it was kind of the same thing we were talking about before, like that view, like driving into Lexington.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would do it every single day. It's just like rolling hills and like beautiful, like
the horse farm and the rock fences.
Yes, and the horses like running alongside, while you're driving. It was so beautiful. I do wish the town, and then I've heard it's kind of like older politics there. So like the town in Paris is not really like, up and coming, like there's nothing coming in.
It is now.
It is?
Yeah, so I actually just got licensed. I'm licensed in 3 states. I'm licensed in Colorado, Montana, and Kentucky. Just got licensed in Kentucky. My family's all there. I'm the only one out here in Colorado.
Yeah.
But I just went back, and Paris has a lot of stuff going on right now. Central Kentucky, I think because the cost of living is so cheap. So Kentucky is the 2nd cheapest state to live in.
I didn't know that.
Yep, West Virginia's the 1st cheapest.
Yeah.
Kentucky's the 2nd, and so Kentucky's just booming right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Paris is definitely up and coming now.
Oh, that's awesome. Because I know when I was there, they had just they were just putting up the Secretariat. Like they were doing
Secretariat.
Yeah, they were doing the murals and like the memorial kind of like in the center of town.
Yep.
And that huge mural that they did. I mean, it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it's like because that's where he was trained, right? And that's part of why.
So Secretariat, I might mess this up. Don't quote me on this. Don't come for me, guys. Secretariat, I can't remember. I think he was foaled in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, if I remember right, from a farm. He was from a farm that Peggy Chinnery, her family owned, and I can't remember what her maiden name was. Again, sorry guys, don't come for me. But that farm was in Virginia. Peggy Chinnery actually lived in Boulder, and she passed away, I think it was about 10 years ago now. Yeah, in 2016. But she was about an hour and a half away in Boulder.
That's so funny, so connected.
Yeah.
I had no idea there was any like Colorado like connection to it.
Yep. Her husband was a lawyer.
Yeah.
And pretty cool stuff. She made or helped make Secretariat what he was. Obviously couldn't do it without how great of a horse that he was. But anyway, just really fun stuff. And that was when women weren't supposed to make decisions or do anything without her husband or without their husbands. And she rocked the racehorse world.
Yeah,
So,
she did.
Yeah, it was cool.
So your family has always been like in ranching, or?
So my family are 7th-generation farmers.
Okay.
Our big farm is in northern Indiana. We're crop farmers. We also raise cattle and hogs. Cattle are farm to table. My family provides meat for most of the restaurants in town, and then do farmers markets where you can buy like directly farm raised pork and beef. So you can get steaks, you can get pork, you can get sausage, you can do whatever you want. You can get it straight from my family. Very ethical. Most of what we feed, actually, we grow on the farm as well. So we do hay, straw, corn, soybeans, all of it. And then, make our own silage, haylage, all of that stuff.
Right. That feed gets expensive. So it's good
it
that you
does.
guys are able to
It does.
grow your own.
Yeah. And then we have hands on, the moms. We make sure that they calve safely. Same with the babies, make sure that they farrow out safely. Well, actually, we don't do that anymore. we buy the baby pigs now, but then we raise them after the farrowing part because it is a lot of work. I don't know if anybody has ever worked in a hog barn before, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So,
I can only imagine.
Not that farming in general isn't a lot of work, but yeah, so we know exactly what goes into it. Very safe, very ethically done.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And so you've always like been around animals like your whole life.
Yep. Grew up in a farm family, grew up farming, grew up ranching, still go up, to Montana, help on the ranches, go back home when I'm home, help on the farms, all of that stuff.
What part of Montana is the ranches up there?
In between Billings and Bozeman.
Gosh, perfect area.
Yeah, it's
beautiful. It's so beautiful up there. We were talking about that before we start. And that's one of my favorite places. Colorado is getting, it's battling for that first place. But I do love Montana so much. Just beautiful area.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I went on this national park tour a couple of years ago. And I did, I went Montana and I did kind of like the West Coast. So Montana, Utah, Colorado, but Eastern, Western Colorado.
Yeah, where the mountains are. Yeah, plains in the east, mountains in the west. Yeah.
So did that, and then I even did like California. So I did like all the major national parks, like Yellowstone, Glacier, Yosemite, like all of that. And then the one that I always wanted to see the most was the Grand Canyon, but that I did that at the end of my trip, and it was kind of funny because like by the time I saw it, I'm like, but I've seen so many beautiful things. Like Glacier was the most beautiful. Oh my gosh, yes. So like after seeing that and then going to see the canyon, my son is like, what did you expect? It's like rocks. And I'm like, I know, but it was like kind of boring because it was like just rocks. So like, yes, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. I'm not putting that down, but it just means compared to all the beautiful scenery like around here. Like I can't wait to check out the Rockies because it's right here. And that's one park I have not been to yet.
Yep.
So I can't wait to do that. So do you do a lot of like outdoor stuff? Like if you been around the animals, you've done the farm life and...
Oh yeah, I still ride. I actually rode yesterday. It was hot yesterday for March in Colorado. So since you guys aren't here, we'll go ahead and let you know it's in the mid 80s right here.
Yeah.
It's scary. We've not had a winter basically, so that's been scary. But yeah, we went and rode yesterday. I have friends that ride motorcycles. I went out on a motorcycle yesterday too. All the riding was done yesterday. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a really nice day for it, but it's definitely on the hot side, especially for this time of year right now.
Yeah. And so you're in real estate now. So how did you get into real estate?
So fun fact about me, guys, if somebody tells me that I can't do something, I will. And that's basically how I got into real estate. My ex that I moved out here for, relationship didn't work out, but Colorado worked out, so I'm still here. He worked in the oil field, and he was working a schedule that was 1 week on, 2 or 3 days off at the time. I can't remember. I think it ended up being about 48 hours total off.
Okay.
But it would switch from 12-hour night shifts to 12-hour day shifts on the 2 or 3 day flip. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you're never going to find something that's going to work with my schedule. And I was like,
challenge accepted.
Okay. Yeah. So, I had already been around real estate growing up. Some people that we showed cattle and lambs with, and horses, their moms and aunts were real estate agents. So I'd already been around it. When you're in the farm and ranch community, kids kind of get raised like it's a group effort, right? Because there's always something that needs done. And so that's kind of what happened. So everybody else would be busy. They'd get a call and they'd have to go show a house or whatever. And that's how I got introduced to it. And I've always loved architecture. I've always been really big on protecting the land and making sure that like farmland doesn't get developed if possible, preserving water rights, things like that. So I'm very versed in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up doing it, and it's pretty close to my heart. But
We usually have.
They were
Is that what we're
joining the
talking about?
conversation.
Yeah.
It's a live podcast. Anything could happen.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's how I got into it. I was like, well, I know that the schedule I can't necessarily make myself, but I can predominantly work from home because now you don't have, in most offices, mandatory office time.
Mhm.
And so that's what I did.
That's amazing. And so how long have you been in real estate now?
Almost 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah, full time for almost 10 years.
Love it. And
Mhm.
so is the correlation, so you do a lot of like land and ranch sales and stuff like that, right? I'm assuming that came from like just your experience and just being able to like connect with people
Yes.
in that way.
Yeah. So another thing that my family does, we have 2 auction companies within my family. So my grandfather, my dad, and my uncle have an auction company in northern Indiana, where the big family farm is. And then my youngest sister and her husband, my youngest brother-in-law, have an auction company in Kentucky also. And growing up, we've seen so many family farms or friends' farms that either had to get sold because of greedy real estate agents, bad real estate deals, things like that, taxes going up, whatever, things weren't allotted correctly, and the farms disappeared. And they're subdivisions or something now. And I understand everyone needs a place to live, but like everybody also needs food.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
yeah,
anyway.
it has been really sad to see that because like a lot of the larger developers, especially in like small towns, or
Yeah,
just, like,
where the land's cheap because there's nothing there.
right.
Yeah.
And so they'll come in and like sometimes the town will allow like certain things to happen because they're thinking economy, but like you said, like that does away with like all of the local families, like all of the local businesses and stuff that farms.
And it
that are
pushes
trying
the
to do.
existing people out.
Yeah.
So they then can't afford to live there. So Montana has a saying, "Don't California my Montana."
Mm.
And the thing that people love about Montana is how beautiful it is, how real and just like true to nature that it still is, how friendly the people are.
Yeah.
And I understand, obviously, in order for there to be progress and good jobs and things like that, and amenities and fun things to do, like there does have to be some development. But California, what people loved in California was the sunshine, and the beach was right there. And, like you could get all these fresh fruits just walking down the streets, and now you can't do any of that.
No.
And so they're
And the
trying
cost
to make
is so high that
people can't afford to live there.
Yeah.
And so Montanans are trying to make sure that doesn't happen there.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something about preserving it, and there's not enough people that do. Because again, I mean, it gets difficult. I will say that. I mean, it gets difficult. Like everyone's chasing, like bills are more expensive. Like everything costs more. So obviously, like anytime that you get kind of a little bit of reprieve from that by bringing in more economic growth and like more jobs, more businesses, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like losing the natural state of it it's not worth it. It really isn't.
Yeah. And so to summarize the rest of my answer to your question is bad real estate agents or greedy real estate agents, or just real estate agents that don't know what they're doing. They look at the price tag and say, oh yeah, I can do this, but they don't have any like actual farm and ranch or water rights experience or anything like that, can get buyers and sellers in really bad predicaments. And so I just wanted to make sure that I'm always a wealth of knowledge and can protect everyone as best as possible, because that's my job.
Yeah.
So
do you have like any examples of some of the situations like you've saved like a new homeowner or a seller like from something that you knew and discovered that they weren't aware of?
Oh yeah. So this deal took 4 months to close actually, but it was because of something that I caught. So the seller had said, oh, this was in Colorado, by the way. They said, oh, we pre-inspected the home. Here it is, yada, yada, yada. I never, ever advise my clients to just go based off of that. I always say, get your own own inspection,
Mhm.
because even though an inspector, it's their job to say like, oh, these are all the things that are wrong with the house, or whatever, and this is what needs fixed, this is what could be fixed, these are cosmetic defects. You didn't pick that inspector. And so they were trying to save some money, because buying a house, it can be pricey, and so they were trying to save some money and just use that. And I said, no, like, you need to get your own inspection done. And so they did. Come to find out, there was an electrical panel in the bathroom there, because
Even I know that, like near
Yeah.
water, not a good idea.
yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
house was built in 1912, and it just had continuously been added onto.
Mhm.
And so there was an electrical panel in the bathroom. The plumbing needed redone throughout the house, and 2 of the 4 sides of the home's foundation, one was cracked, like significantly cracked and separating, and the other one had started collapsing.
Oh my gosh.
They also needed to get a new sewer system put in. And so
I'm just seeing like dollar bill after dollar bill.
it was over
after dollar-
$120,000 worth of work that needed done. They also, like, they got basically 2 brand new bathrooms out of it, and new roof as well. And those were just like the big ticket items, but there was over $120,000 worth of work.
that the
that-
inspector, the original inspector, didn't catch.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then on top of that, I negotiated another $45,000 off the lease and had them do a 2-1 buy down rate, which the seller pays for. So I negotiated all of that for them. So
Wow. What's
that
the
one
buy
I'm pretty
down
proud
rate
of.
for those of us that don't know?
So a 2-1 buy down rate, let's say interest rates are 6% right now. The seller pays for it. So for the first year, the interest rate would go down 2%. So from 6% to 4%. And then for the second year, it goes down 1%. So from 6% to 5%. A lot of people think that money off equates, and it does equate to a good amount of savings and everything. But the higher the interest rate, an interest rate gets you the loan, but it doesn't actually help you other than that, right? So you could be paying a significant amount more just to have the loan. By doing a 2-1 buy down rate, which again the seller pays for, then you're saving hundreds of dollars per month in interest that doesn't necessarily benefit you at all. The other cool thing about 2-1 buy down rates with the lender that I really like to work for, that interest rate, let's say that interest rates drop 3% after you have owned the home for a few months or whatever, you want to refinance. Cool, you can use that 2-1 buy down amount to refinance. And if there's anything left over with this lender that I like to use, then whatever's left over goes towards paying the principal of the loan down. So even if it's $10, that's $10 in interest that you don't have to pay down.
Yeah.
But the 2-1 buy down rate completely depends on the price of the property and what interest rates are at that time.
Is that specific to like an area, like a state?
Nope,
or is it
it's
the
more
lender?
dependent on the market, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because if it's a seller's market where the seller has the upper hand, then you're not going to see 2-1 buy downs happen. Technically, they're always available if the company offers it. But since it's very much a buyer's market now, and right now, for those of you who don't know, I just looked up the stat last night, there is a 634,000 person difference or transactional difference between sellers to buyers. So it's statistically on record, this is the best time to be a buyer ever. So, and it's for a variety of reasons, but yeah, per transaction, there's 634,000 more transactions on the seller side than there are buyers.
Yeah.
So lots of negotiation power for the buyer.
Which you need a good negotiator for you.
Yeah.
So you call Brittany, and she takes care of that.
Mhm.
How have you gotten a lot of your business, like since being an agent for the last 10 years?
Most of my business now is by word of mouth.
Love it.
Best way. So there's a lot of people that get into real estate and they look at the dollar signs. I got into real estate to help people and to prove my ex wrong. That
good.
Yeah,
It's a good reason.
that I could find something that worked around, like crazy schedules and things like that. And joke's on me, my schedule's the one that's crazy now. But yeah.
But in a good way, hopefully.
It is in a good way.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of my business comes from referrals. I am active on social media. I have a friend who runs a nonprofit, and she sends me a ton, and it's a multi-state nonprofit. She sends me a ton of business. Her mother was actually a real estate agent. She passed away from cancer, and I never got to meet her, but it sounded like she had a very golden heart. And one of the best compliments I've ever gotten was from her. And she said that out of all and she knows a lot of real estate agents, She's like, out of all the real estate agents I know, you're the most honest. And she's like, you actually care about your clients. And so sometimes that's a double-edged sword for me. I'm working on that.
Sometimes you care too much.
Exactly. But I don't ever want to see anybody end up in a bad spot. And I'm very nice until I have a reason not to be. With growing up farming and ranching, I also grew up showing cattle and horses on the national level. And something I'm very thankful for is 4-H and FFA and my dad. So dad said, all right, if you're going to start showing your own horses and cattle, you're going to learn how to take care of them and sell them. And so I started making national level sales with livestock, a little bit different, obviously, but national level sales when I was 9.
Wow.
So I've been doing that for almost 30 years now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're used to being. I'm assuming it's pretty like industry run by men mostly. So like even
real
at
estate.
9. Well, no, even like when you were doing the livestock sales.
Predominantly, yeah, a lot of it's still men.
Yeah.
But
so I was like, so you're used to just kind of being out there, regardless of what your competition is.
Yeah. Luckily, I still have
old,
my blonde hair and blue eyes, and I can still sucker people in a little bit, and then I can bring out the big guns when I need to, and they realize that I'm serious. Yeah. So
I love that. And so you also do commercial real estate as well, too, right? Where I'm sure a lot of those, fall into that.
Yeah. So the commercial industry, regardless of states, is predominantly very driven by men. We predominantly only see male brokers in there. There's a reason for that. It's a very cut and dry. If the numbers don't make sense, then they just don't move forward with it. It's a very unemotional deal, which to a point I really appreciate, because residential deals, there's a lot of, and farm and legacy ranch deals, there's a lot of sentiment, there's a lot of emotions and things like that. So it's a good balance. I do about half of what I do is luxury, farm, ranch, and residential, and the other half is commercial. So with commercial, it's really easy. All right, this is what I'm looking for. This is the ROI that I need. These are the areas that I'm looking for. This is the type of property that I need. And does it make sense on paper or not?
Right.
And if it doesn't, that's it.
Yeah.
So.
And investors love that too, because like most of the people that buy commercial, a lot of them are like big time investors, and they're very numbers driven. Like.
And with
a lot of them
commercial,
don't care about the story. They're just like, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? Because I deal a lot, like I was mentioning to you, like I deal a lot with syndicators to buy like apartment buildings or self-storage or large properties. And it's a very specific criteria of what they look for.
Yes.
You're not going to convince them otherwise because, whatever the sob story is behind the property, it's literally like, do the numbers work? Because they have investors that they have to,
they have
answer
to pacify, yeah.
Right. So they can't just, make up whatever story that they want to get a property. Like it has to make sense. So yeah, I totally get that. It is interesting though too, because I've dealt a lot within that industry, and the it is male dominant.
Communication's usually not great.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like it's terrible. So I'm like, I am trying to send you money, sir. Like, why won't you
why does it take you 2 weeks to answer my phone? Yeah. So that's especially in commercial, that's something that I get a lot of praise on, is how quick I am to respond and get answers to people.
And that's what you need. Like it has to turn, business moves quickly.
It does. Even with the market being slower than it has been in a while now, if there's a good deal that comes across the table, you can't sleep on it.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of deals, and I've gotten a lot of deals done because people just didn't answer the phone.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid to go knock on doors. I'm not afraid to go to the office or
show
something
up.
like, yeah.
So,
and I've done it before.
Yeah.
I've done it a few times before.
Like they know you're like, oh, here comes Brittany.
Yep.
So do you have a preference in like dealing with residential or commercial, or
I get this question a lot too.
Yeah.
I am very thankful for all of my clients, but and I'm thankful for what I'm able to do. How much I like the client I'm working with completely depends on the client. So
I'm big on that.
Yeah. I try to be a very nice person. I work really hard to be. I think everyone deserves kindness, but I don't think that just because someone's kind that they should be walked all over.
Nope.
And when people try to take advantage of my kindness is when I have to like bring out the not so nice side.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I enjoy doing, but every once in a while it's necessary. And I'm finally at the point, well, I've been at the point now where I can let clients go or say that I think someone else would be a better fit for you. And
place to be.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite lessons that I ever had to learn, actually. My life got a lot more peaceful after that. And business got a lot better too, actually.
Which is so funny, right? Because in the beginning, I think we've all struggled with that. Like, I've been in business now for 8 years, and I struggle with that too in the beginning, where you're just like, hey, I got to pay the bills, so you take on whatever. And some of the people that were difficult to work with that I kept, because I was like, well, the dollar amount that they're bringing every single time and not that there's been that many, but every single time that I have let one of those go, I get like an influx of like better business.
Yeah, it opens up so much more time and emotional capacity.
And you don't consider that in the moment.
Yeah,
because you're just like, well,
You're
the
focused on
money's
numbers,
coming in
yeah.
and like what it's coming. But like the ethics of like who you work with, and especially with you, like it's a marriage almost, right? Like with the people you work for, because you're going into these contracts, and the process is usually like stretched out, and then ideally you have this relationship so that like when they are ready to sell 5 to 10 years, they're calling me back and saying like, hey, like now I want to sell, or now I want to look at a different area.
Or they referred people to you in the meantime.
Yes.
Yeah, which, circling back to the question you asked before, is 100% how I get most of my business. So
yeah, which you're doing good work if like people are talking about you,
Yeah.
know, and like spreading it out, which is great.
Yeah. And if you continue with one unhappy client or difficult client, or one that's really hard to appease, then they're probably not going to have the best experience, and they probably won't refer you out. So
yeah,
in
and
the
a lot of
long
times
run.
it's from like their perspective too. Like
It is,
it's nothing
yeah.
that you did wrong, they just perceive it in a different way.
Yeah, or they bought when the market was slower, or when it, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So they were looking at houses 5 years ago, and then they could get this at this price point, but that's not where rates and cost of living and things like that are today. So
yeah,
yeah,
love that. I mean, you helped Nicole get her like dream house like
I did.
a couple of years before she was, planning on getting it. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, that was an interesting conversation. I still remember, like, almost, I guess you could say, belly laughing. She told me, she's like, I fully didn't expect to find anything. Like, I thought we were going to casually look. And her husband, Nick, thank heaven he was able to come out when he did. But I can't remember exactly what happened, but he was supposed to be working or something. And then they were like, oh, no, you don't have to. So he came out to Colorado with him. We looked at houses, I think, for 3 or 4 days straight, 2 days straight, took a day off, circled back, and went to 2 houses once more. And they were like, we didn't think we were going to be able to get this done, but like, this is exactly what we wanted, and you got us a better deal. Like, absolutely. So, and that was cool. They bought as you know, they bought a luxury ranch property, and it's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
So,
yeah. She's got the horses already. Like, she's in heaven. It's beautiful. And it's just a gorgeous area. I mean, I like just sitting out there with coffee in the morning, just like on the deck, and just like the view is just.
Wait until the reservoir is finished and filled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she was saying, right? So all of it like leading up to. So for the people that don't know, like what area is that going to be, and like what's the impact going to be locally?
So the reservoir that they're putting in, the property that we're speaking about is on the north side of LaPorte. And for northern Coloradans, or Coloradans in general that know about the new reservoirs going in to try to help Colorado's water problem, this property is going to be at the north tip of that. So they're literally going to have waterfront access.
Yeah, and they didn't even know that at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't approved at the time that they got it, or it was like
the reservoir had already been under construction for a while.
Okay.
So yeah.
So now it'll just get to be waterfront, although they're never going to leave it. So
yeah, and why would you? Yeah, it's a beautiful home. But yeah, that's going to be pretty impactful. They're going to have to redo the roads in that area, so the road that they live off of is going to be even more quiet. I mean, they're a ways off of it, but it's going to be even more quiet because the highway is getting redirected to the top of the hills around their place, and then the reservoir will be right down there. And hopefully it'll help with water prices, and hopefully it'll just help with the water problem that Colorado has in general.
Yeah. And so when is that expected to be?
Oh, you know how construction is. It was supposed to be done already, and then it got moved back, and then we'll see what happens when the next time frame comes along. So
it'll keep going until eventually.
Yeah, eventually
when everyone
kind
of forgets about it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it'll be like, oh, it's ready.
Yeah, exactly. So.
So out of all of the areas, you said you're licensed in Montana, Colorado, Kentucky, and was there a fourth one or just the 3?
Nope, just the 3.
Just the 3. I was like, yeah, there's enough.
3 non-bordering states, yeah.
Is there any particular state that you like prefer to work in? I mean, not to bash anyone else, but like you love like the property and like the process of it, or
so each state, I really appreciate each state and doing business in each state for a different reason, right? Because the demographics in each state are completely different, right? So you've been in Kentucky. Paris is in the bluegrass region where I grew up. It's about 45 minutes from where I grew up, actually. And I grew up in Jessamine County, fun fact.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Back in Kentucky, you don't say the town that you grew up in, you say
The
the county.
county.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun to go back to. Most of my family's there. I love Montana. I love the mountains. I love the Western lifestyle. I split time pretty equally between each of the 3 locations now.
Mm-hmm.
And Montana I love because I'm able to go out and see these legacy farms and ranches and, help the legacy homeowner or family do what they need or want or have to do. Get somebody in there, ideally, who's either going to preserve it or at least have like some sort of vacation home where it's still preserved and things like that. And granted, like you can't pick and choose who wants or is able to buy the property, but 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. And that's very, very cool. I love seeing, when the deal's done at the table and like, you kept this way. Thank you so much. Like, we're going to take care of it. And then actually see it come to fruition and see, years down the road.
If they really like stuck to the,
and that's very, very cool. You get to see the buildings that maybe they weren't able to upkeep get brought to life again.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. That's I really like about Montana and Kentucky. They're both very big on preserving history.
Yeah.
And I think that's very, very special.
It really is.
Yeah. And then
I go through that a little bit when I travel. Like I travel through like small towns and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you could see like the history here, but a lot of them are kind of like falling apart, and it's just like it's beautiful. I wish I had like all the money in the world to just be able to like go and preserve and like kind of bring life back to like those areas. You can see they've been around for forever.
Yeah. And then here in Colorado, I've been in Colorado for almost 13 years now. So I've got a lot of friends here. I have a lot of people that I know, and being able to see them, like typically what's been happening here the past few years is I helped them buy houses, and then that was their starter home. And then they got married, and then they got their home for like the marriage, and then they started having kids, and they got the family home. And now a lot of them are starting to get into business. And so I'm helping them get their commercial properties and things like that. Some of my friends have become very successful in businesses. I work with one of my good friends, the one that I rode with yesterday. Her husband is a commercial builder and contractor, and he sends me a lot of investors. He's like I am, very picky about who he works with and who he surrounds himself with. My referral base is my arsenal. If somebody messes up, then that looks bad on me. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And if you don't do a good job, like, what does that really say?
Yeah,
so
I'm going to refer them again.
Yeah, so I'm really picky about who I work with, who I refer. And that's one of my favorite things about Colorado too, is the business that I've built here and being able to help my friends and people that I care about and new clients and things that I meet expand and help reach their goals and dreams is really cool.
And that is beautiful. I mean, I know like the contractor that you referred to, Nicole, like did phenomenal work. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, the barn, the basement, the new bathroom. Yeah,
like just phenomenal work and just like good, ethical, like just great guy. You know what I mean? Like, just
so I met him through the contractor that I just told you about. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
see the spider web of like the network and stuff.
Yep.
So you're really good at like giving them those resources, like giving people access to your network that like need it. So, if someone buys a home from you, then you've got, any like specific connections that you give them, or you like have access to everything from inspector to builder to.
So what I try to do is make my client, regardless of the type of deal it is, I try to make my client's life as easy as possible. Everyone always has enough stuff going on in their life that I don't think it's fair to add new stress to it when it's my job to take care of it anyway, right? So throughout the transaction, like, okay, this is what I need from you all up front. Get it all out of the way. It needs done. Here's the timeline of things that I need done. Here's the dates. Here's the people that I recommend you call. So that you don't, I mean, if you want to do your own research, by all means, absolutely. I'm 100% on board with people doing their own research. I wish more people did. But that's what I'm here for. Yeah. You hired me for a reason, right? Like, why would you hire someone that either can't negotiate, isn't going to protect you, won't have your best interests at heart, and also can't help you throughout the process? Like, I see that all the time, and it's baffling to me.
Yeah, because I've known a lot of realtors too that like basically like that relationship stops at the sale. I'm like, but it's so much more than that, because the person moves in and then they find something wrong or they have a question or whatever. And I feel like you have like that relationship with the people that you work with that they can call on you, like
Yeah.
pretty much for
The cool part and one of my favorite things about real estate in general is, so like I have my, I guess, foundation clients, the ones that I met like in the beginning, or friends that I had before I got 100% into real estate and went into it full time, that refer me out constantly. And we all like, to get together. We all like to meet up and do fun things. Part of the reason, so I have social media, but part of the reason why I don't do a lot of actual advertising on social media is because I know so many people that have blown up on social media that they don't actually know the front end from the back end of contracts. And I believe in like interpersonal communication. I believe in face-to-face communication. I believe in actually caring about people and keeping the relationship going, and like, hey, how's the family? Like, oh, by the way, I know you like blueberry muffins. I brought some because I knew you were going to be here. Like, go have fun.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Touch. Yeah. So I don't believe in, personally, I know it works for a lot of people, but I don't believe in the pop buys. Like, I'd rather meet up for coffee or for lunch, or invite you over, to dinner or something.
Right.
So
to go riding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be too. I do love that. It's something that I try to help all the business owners that I work with really focus on. So I always ask them, like, what type of person do you want to work with? Because and I get all the time, especially realtors are usually like, I could sell to anyone. I'm like, yes, okay, you can technically, but if you had to choose, like, there's a type of person, there's a type of connection that you want to have with the people that you work with, right? Like, so you like that interpersonal, connection. Obviously, for commercial, you're used to just like, hey, transactional, and like, hey, this is what you want. But I'm assuming you probably have like that relationship built with the commercial people too, right? Where they,
so
your
fun
stuff.
fact, I've got an international commercial investor that I work with, and he is probably, I appreciate all my clients, but he is probably my favorite. And I told him this before, and he's like, why? And I was like, his name's Mike. I was like, well, Mike, I was like, you're really cut and dry, but you're fun to talk to. You're easy to work with, and you don't bug me unless you need something. And you like it when you don't hear from me if like nothing's happening that needs like that's going on.
No news is good news.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I know that you got me covered. And I was like, well, yeah, but is that it? And he's like, no, I trust you. Yeah. So he was in, little funny story. He was in England one time, and he calls me and he's like, hey, my alarm's going off at the commercial building. And he has a team in this area where it's like emergency, like handyman stuff. And he's like, he's in the hospital. Can you go see what's going on? Well, the fire department, we were trying to rent out this unit, and it was the unit that this fire alarm for the whole building was in. And since it wasn't rented, they came in and shut it off without even letting him know. Like, he was in England trying to figure it out. And so I took care of it for him. Yeah. And after that, he quit bugging me. He's like, you're fine. You've got this. Like, you're going to have it handled. I trust you.
Yeah.
So
do you ever do any like management for people?
Like, no. I would do it for Mike. But I like my freedom. And it seems like in management, you don't hear from someone unless they're mad, right? Okay. And I don't like that. I'll let somebody else do it. So
that's true. So you probably have like referrals for that. If someone
I have some great referrals for it. There's a gentleman that I partner with, and he actually got married to one of my best friends, and he was doing management for properties that he owned himself, and then he got into real estate and started a business. Yeah. Everyone that I've sent to him absolutely adores him. And they say the same thing, like, you're always available, like within reason, you actually care, and you advocate and fight for us. Yeah. And more than 9 times out, it's probably 99 times out of 100. Yeah. You don't get that with residential property management, and especially commercial property management.
Yeah, because a lot of it is more like transactional.
Yeah.
I know I've heard like some pretty horror stories from like apartment investors, like the apartment syndicators of like property management companies, like just didn't do them well, and didn't, like you said, like they advocated, like your friend like advocates for the people and the property management companies, like I don't think they had like that, you know, relationship established. So it's just like, you know, we'll do what we do. They might notice, they might not, you know, and then it's like you come up with like all kinds of issues at the end of it. So it's really good to know that there are like, you know, good people out there.
I know of one.
Yeah.
In property management, I know of a solid one.
Yeah.
Not dissing on anybody. It's just I have incredibly high expectations for myself and people that I work with, and so far he's the only one that fits the bill.
Love that.
So
That's how you know it's like trustworthy, right? Like
Mhm.
you know like how you are in business, and then you make sure that you surround yourself with the same people.
Mhm.
Because, you know, anyone that we refer reflects back on us.
exactly.
Yeah. If they're not happy with that person, it's gonna be like, oh, Julie or Brittany like gave me this, you know, this
Yeah,
number.
it leaves a bad taste in my
Yeah.
mouth.
Definitely
So,
don't ever want to do that.
yeah. So I try to make it really seamless, really smooth. I have people that I've worked with multiple times that say, or their investor, like especially my investors, they come back to me because they're like, we don't have to worry about anything. Like we tell you what we want, you send us the documents, you're not constantly bugging us because you know the process. We get it done and it's smooth. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And that's how I think that's how it should be.
One of the things that I didn't ask, you do buying and selling, right? You represent
Yes.
on both ends.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I know there's some realtors that just focus on, you know, representing the buyer or representing the seller, so you can help in all of it.
Yep. I like to be a one-stop shop. Very much. I've always been that way with everything that I've done. But I like to be a one-stop shop. I like to be the person that you go to when anything real estate related needs to be done. And so that's what I've made myself.
What are some of the things that like happen often where like someone didn't recognize when they were looking to purchase or sell a home that like you were able to point out? I know you shared like an example earlier for like property inspecting, but like even like bigger picture than that, like when someone is buying, like one of those things that like you being in it for 10 years and you being as diligent as you are, that you know like the things that people tend to overlook.
In commercial or residential or farm
Or
and
both.
ranch or
Any of them. Yeah.
so most people don't know water rights.
Mm.
Most people don't realize how important getting a survey is, for example. Even if it's just a residential property where the builder, let's say you get a new home and the builder already has the boundaries marked out, a lot of times they're still not right.
Mm.
So, and people are like, oh, surveys are so expensive. I don't want to get a survey. It's a couple $1,000s. And it's like, or you can, you know, spend $10,000 to $20,000 to build a fence and it'd be wrong and have to tear it down and spend the same amount of money doing it all over again. Stuff like that.
Yeah, so like really knowing like where the boundaries are, especially because like there are easements and stuff.
Mhm.
There's someone that was talking the other day about like some sewage system, I think, that like exploded like you know, shortly after they purchased the home,
Mhm.
and they were like, oh, it's the city. Like they were like,
Nope.
no, it's actually your responsibility because it's on your easement. So like the city was like, nope, that's not us.
And if they would have gotten an inspection and a sewer scope,
They would
sewer
have known
scopes
that.
are $150 max. Just get it done.
It's worth knowing.
It can be like a new sewer line is over $50,000 depending on how long it is. Like minimum, it's going to be $10,000 to $12,000 right now. Spend the $150 just for this like peace of mind. So
yeah, because that's the last thing that you want. Like you don't want like a surprise coming in like you know, a year in, you know, or you thought this was your forever home, and then all of a sudden you got to spend $120,000, you know, in order
fixing
to
everything. Yeah.
right. So yeah, so inspection surveys, like so just really knowing like full detail, like it's worth the investment up front to like really know front and back everything that you're getting into.
Yeah. And then you have to know what's going on in the different states. So me personally, I will not ever get licensed in a state that I don't have like a fundamental knowledge of. So like Colorado, I've been here over almost 13 years now. Montana, I grew up, you know, I have family, I have friends there, grew up spending summers there, spent half the year there up until I got licensed in Kentucky. Grew up in Kentucky, like that's where most of my family is.
Yeah.
So like if you don't know what's going on in the state, if you don't stay up to date on really everything, can you make a lot of money? Yes. Can you do it ethically and correctly? Probably not. So
yeah, you really need to know. I had a property that I was looking at in a little town in South Carolina. And it was kind of like an up and coming property. I happened to be like in the town when they were like shooting for promotional video to like bring remote workers to the town, right? Because it was a small town. It used to be really big back in like plantation days. And then because agriculture has kind of like moved, it kind of like slowly started to die. So they were like, the town was working on all of these initiatives to like bring more people to the town and stuff. So it was like remote workers. And so they got me involved in it because they were like, hey, can we use you? And I was like, sure. So I'm in some like random video of this town, which is cute. But like they kept me in the loop of like what was going on. So like I work with real estate investors, so I know like what to look for like in a market of like when you want to invest. And I was like, they're doing all the right things. I started looking at properties, and there was a 4-unit property for like $99,000. That was like 2 blocks from the downtown area, and I'm like, oh my gosh, perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went to go look at the property, and it was like 4 units, but it could be converted because they were like large. They were like 3-bedroom apartments, and I'm like,
Oh,
you
okay.
can convert those easily to like right. So I had this whole plan. And the realtor that I was working with was, she was a residential realtor, and she was newer.
Mm-hmm.
I was given like the newbie. I get it. You have to like vet me to make sure that like I know what I'm doing and all that stuff. And so we were looking at this property, and then like moving along, like did all the research, getting ready to like put an offer in. And I had an investor friend of mine come and take a look at the property, just give me like a second knowledge. And he pointed out that the property next door used to be a gas station. Like back from the 1900s, it still had the tank in the ground. And he was like, run away. He's like, this is like an environmental nightmare. He's like, because you're not going to get lent on it because there's potential, if the tank is still in the ground 100 years later, who knows like the environmental impact that's done. So you're going to have to like remediate the dirt. He's like, so your $100,000 property now just turned into like potential like $300,000 plus project because of all of the work that you're going to have to do. But it's like one of those things. And like, and I was asking him, I was like, hey, do we know like what this building was? And like, no one knew. And then he came in and like pointed out, he's like, no, that's an old fuel pump. And I was like, or fuel tank. And I was like, the things you got to know, in order to like invest and stuff like that. And like, and the agent, like she was lovely, but she didn't know.
Yeah.
She didn't know what was going on. Right. So like,
and as a residential agent, most people wouldn't know about environmental inspections.
Right.
You have to get a commercial agent.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, they would have known right away, be like, hey, maybe that's why they put it off to the residential agent, because they knew that like anything commercial wouldn't have passed well. I don't know. But it was, that saved me from making a huge, well, it would have been a bigger nightmare, because I was just like, oh, this is easy, $100,000 for 4 units. Yeah, like absolutely.
Yeah, which again is why you need somebody who knows the area.
Yes.
And you need somebody that knows what you're actually like dealing with as far as the buy goes. Because residential realtors, yes, they can sell units like that because technically they are residential units.
Right. Yeah, because it was 4,
but that technically can still be a commercial property.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was like a mixed use too. Like one was like there's like a little store or something like that on the bottom of it.
So it's a commercial property.
Yeah. So then it was commercial.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, it makes such a big difference, like to know that. And even in, residential realtors that I've dealt with, a lot of them, like, will do like the quadplexes. Cause I think that's still considered, I think under 5, right, is what's considered residential.
It actually depends on the state.
Oh, okay. So it does change. Okay. Yep. I know in Florida, I think it's under 5 is considered residential. And then anything over that is commercial.
Yep.
So what do you love most about this real estate world and the industry, what you get to do?
So for me, I still really enjoy it. It's still fun for me to look at the different properties. Like I said, I love and always have the architecture. And I love, so like circling back to what I said earlier with Montana, I love going out on these legacy ranches and seeing like the original buildings and seeing what like everybody else can't see from the road, or what friends of the family only get to see, or the family themselves gets to see. That's pretty cool. In Kentucky, it's the same thing, but Kentucky, as far as architecture and things go, it's so much older than Montana just because it wasn't settled until after Kentucky was. So Kentucky, you get a lot of colonial buildings, you get a lot of things like that. I love going and seeing like the old horse blocks, like the old mounting blocks that are still there. In Montana, similar but different. A lot of places still have hitching posts in front of the barn area, even if they don't have horses there anymore. And it's just, for me, it's really cool to go to these different places and walk the steps that like maybe your ancestors did or something. Yeah. I still get sentimental about that, obviously. That's still one of my favorite things, and that's still really fun. But seeing how architecture has changed throughout the years and all of that is a lot of.
It makes it sad sometimes because I see some of the newer buildings come up, and I'm like, where like the attention to detail has gone away.
It really
in
has.
the last few years, because it's all about like mass production and all this stuff. But I'm like you, like I love architecture is part of why too. Like I can't wait to go to Europe. Like I want to see, like here in the United States, I want to see like the scenery. I want to see the mountains. I want to see, the beautiful areas. But like when I think of Europe, like I want to see the architecture. I want to see the
The
history,
craftsmanship, the attention to detail. Yeah.
it's amazing. Like and so sad to see that some of the places have just like lost that appeal. And I'm like, but that's what gives it like that character, that charm.
Yeah. You get to see the original owner's personality that built the home when you look at Victorian homes that have been preserved and all of that. So like even down to the door handles and things like that is really cool. You get to see the intricacy and the doorknobs, and a lot of times where the latch comes in and out will be ornate right here. That little cute rectangle thing. I don't know what it's called, obviously.
Yeah. I love Victorian homes. Like
I do too. I grew up in one.
Did you?
I did.
I lived in San Diego for a brief period of time in the Golden Hill area, and it was all like Victorian homes.
Yep.
That were, a lot of them were converted to like apartments. But I'm like, I just love like going around just to see again, like just like the trim detail, like you have like around
The molding.
your door, the molding. Yes, like all of it is just there's so much thought put into it, which is what I think I love like the most. It's just like someone looked at it and said, you know what, like let's add a little flair to that, which is beautiful. So do you, after seeing all that stuff and like loving architecture as much as you do you like change your home?
No.
Often? Okay.
No,
do you like
I
see an idea and you're like, oh, I want to implement?
No, I have, I'm saving up to build my own house. One of these days I would love to build a stone home.
Ooh.
I've got a lot of ideas for that, but right now I'm thankful for my home. I love my house, but I know that it's not going to be like my forever home.
Got it.
So I will implement those details down the line when I'm able to get my dream home the way that I want it to.
Yeah, and it's gotta be nice too when you're searching for other people because you get a chance to take a look for yourself too. Like, oh, you know what?
Yeah,
I would like this, or no, I wouldn't like that.
Yep.
When I was younger, so my father basically like designed our house, and but before he designed the house, like we would go to like different open houses, and so he would like take a look at like what they were doing and like take a look at the different elements of the house and like be able to like add that to the plans that he was like creating. And so we grew up like going to open houses and be like, oh, I want my room to look like this, right? We were like claim a room or claim a spot in the house, and we got like so many like ideas like just from seeing the different perspectives from people, and sometimes it was like the same style house but designed differently, right? So it like changed like the whole look of it just from that. I love that. I just love seeing. I think that's part of why like I like to travel and I like to experience different places and see different things. Like I just like to see things from different perspectives, right? Like it's I don't know. It's really cool. I love it.
Yeah, I always learn a lot about myself when I travel, so I get that. And seeing the different architectures and how things, especially when you go to Europe, you see how things used to be done and how a lot of times they're still done.
Yeah.
Like most places in Europe don't have air conditioning because they don't need it.
Heard that. Yeah.
And it's crazy to me that while I appreciate it and I understand it makes the world go round, at least here in the US, the practices that were implemented, they got rid of like the old ways and things that used to be really like energy efficient or like wouldn't take hardly energy at all is just gone. And so it's really nice going overseas to Europe and seeing like how to heat a house without a furnace and how to cool a home off when it's in the 90s or 100 degrees and keep it comfortable.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah. Do you ever share like any of those tips?
Nope, it's not my area of expertise.
Yeah.
I like researching them, and I have boards and files and things that I've made or saved from research that I've done, but I will not speak if it's on something, if it's not something that I but know about enough for me to speak on it. I will give my opinion and I will let you know that it's an opinion, but when it comes to things like that, I will go to my arsenal and I will refer you out to that expert. So,
love that.
Yeah.
So you do travel often to Europe. Like what is it that you do love to do in your downtime?
So I don't get to travel often to Europe.
No.
The last time I was in Europe was in 2018. I went to Italy. I am supposed to be going towards the end of this year. I'm really excited for that. When I have some free time, I grew up riding horses. I grew up showing livestock, and I still love to ride. I got into motorcycles when I was in college, and I don't have my motorcycle anymore, but I still love to ride with friends. So I'll just hop on the back and they can worry about everything, and I'll just have the wind in my hair and all of that stuff. But that's a lot of fun. I love dancing. I learned how to dance when I was in Montana growing up. And so two-step, country swing, Texas swing, all of that.
Did you do line dancing?
I don't do line dancing so much anymore. I'm sure there's a few that I still know, but I really like two-stepping and country swing.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I love that. I just got into line dancing recently. Like my mom was like teaching, and I went to go like fill in for one of her classes, like just to be a body in the room and like help support her. Yeah. And I started doing it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I'm like, I don't need a partner. I'm like, I can just go like dance wherever I gotta go. So I gotta find places around here where I can.
I'll tell
have
you
a little
some.
fun. That's awesome.
I'll tell you some.
Yeah. So I've been trying to get Nicole to come out with me. So she's like, yeah, let's just find a place. And I'm like, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But it's fun. So dancing. So do you have like dance partner, or you just kind of go? And I know the two-step world is like you kind of, you connect with people like kind of on the dance floor sometimes, right?
So when I first moved here, I was bartending. And one of the places that I used to work at that I'll tell you more about is called the Grizzly Rose. And I was a bartender there, and I used to go on ladies' nights, and I was there so much that I made a whole bunch of friends, and we would all dance together, called it the group. We'd just show up and everybody would dance and have a lot of fun. And then my friend that I mentioned earlier on the podcast that runs a nonprofit that I get a lot of businesses from, her nonprofit revolves around country dancing.
Oh, wow.
It's actually called Country Kick Up. Little shout out there, Jordan.
Love it.
Yeah. But so it's a multi-state nonprofit. She started it in the town that I live in northern Colorado. And I have done and gotten to know and become friends with a lot of the people on that team. So whenever I want to dance, I'll just be like, hey, where are you guys at? And then I'll go show up and we'll go dance.
Oh, that's awesome. So what is the goal of her nonprofit? What is it focused around?
So predominantly, she got into a bad situation in college, and it's not my story to share. So out of respect, I will not. But because of that unsafe situation that she found herself in, she started Country Kick Up. And it is a safe, fun place with no pressure for people to go, where they don't have to worry about somebody trying to take advantage of them in one way or another. So
I love that. I love that. So part of why I love line dancing so much is I used to love going dancing back in the day. Now I'm like 42, so going to a club now and dancing is not really like acceptable. But I had a great time doing it. You can do whatever you want. That's true.
You're only as old as you let yourself feel.
It's true. I feel great until you like walk into a room with like 19-year-olds and I'm like, maybe I don't want.
It's fine.
But one of the reasons why I stopped going is I had a bartender spike my drink. Now, I always, I was very aware, especially if I was going out by myself, I'm like, I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm not going to bring attention to myself. I'm like, I'm just there to enjoy it and to, enjoy music and, just dance and by myself and all that. So, I would spend a lot of time, make sure I was connecting with the bartender because then I felt that they would, look out for me. And then, after, doing that a couple times and then, one bartender ended up, spiking my drink. So I was like, well, now I don't trust that at all. And then, all my friends kind of aged out and they all got married. No one wanted to go dancing anymore. And then I was like, well, fine. So I kind of lost that. And I didn't realize how much I missed it until I started dancing with my mom's. And I'm like, and in Florida, there's, where I live in Florida, there's one country bar club or whatever that's kind of big, but I do love the community that's there. Yeah. I go and I've met a lot of the people and we all just go there because we love to dance and we love the music and there's no pressure and there's nothing like that. But I understand that that's not everywhere, right? Yeah. So I love that she did that. I'll definitely have to look it up and give a little support that way.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's unfortunately a very real and more predominant thing that happens than what people realize. Yeah. And not to change the subject or anything, but I think that's why I've been as successful as I have in commercial. Because a lot of the people had a bad experience, obviously not in the same way.
Right.
I don't think there's real estate agents out there spiking anyone's drinks.
You never know. The bartender for mine did it because he was known, apparently. I found out after the fact he was known for doing that so he could rack up your bill and you wouldn't have any recollection. So yeah, maybe there's real estate agents out there doing it so you're signing contracts without recognizing. No.
Yeah, hopefully that's not the case either. But yeah, people they didn't have a good experience with them or didn't get a response time or something like that. And in general, females are better at communication than the other option.
I think we just pay more attention to details than, you know, some other people too. So, so it helps. It helps. Build
No
that
hate on
relationship.
guys. I'm not a man hater.
No,
I love guys.
not here at all.
Yeah,
No.
just I'm talking about myself and the feedback I've gotten. That's all.
Yeah,
So,
and some of the experiences we've had in the industry.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I know we're kind of like wrapping up here at the end of the hour, and I'm so happy that we got a chance to meet. And this has been amazing. Do you have any last final thoughts? Could be real estate focused, could be just life, you know, general knowledge that you want to like leave everyone with.
The only thing I guess that I would say to wrap everything up is just that regardless of the type of real estate purchase that you're doing or sale, for most people, it is the biggest one of their life, regardless of the price point or the bracket that you're in. So make sure that you have somebody that's representing you that actually knows what's going on and actually cares about your interests and not just the paycheck.
Yeah.
Because they're going with a family friend that you've known for forever that isn't up to date on what's going on with society, the town, does things the old school way. You know, if they're not up to date on what's going on with everything, that can cost you a lot more than just a few dollars up front.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. And there's a lot of the agents too, like that I know that are doing it not really like full time. It's kind of like they have the license to do it.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is, then they're not on top of, because even like programs that are available that you would know that they wouldn't be aware of, you know, like you said, of course, like city and state rules and regulations that you would know. So just, guys, be aware of that. And if you need some help in Montana, Colorado, or Kentucky, you call Brittany. We've got her Facebook link here at the bottom of the page. It's been kind of going across. So if you guys want to ask any questions or, you know, start looking for a property or to sell your property, definitely check her out, connect with her on Facebook. And
I'm on Instagram and TikTok
too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Brittany Culp, CULP is the last name. So you can find her. Is it all connected through your Facebook? Like they can find your other platforms through there?
Yeah, well, with Instagram, yes. TikTok, you can't sync it to Facebook yet.
Yeah.
So TikTok's a little bit different. But again, the more you know, you got to stay up to date on things.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And if you guys have any questions, if you're watching this on like the replay, anything that comes up, like feel free to comment. We'll be monitoring the comments, so I'll make sure that she answers like any questions that come up. If you have any questions like that, like just definitely like hit us up. And we thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Brittany, for coming out here and showing me this amazing coffee shop.
Isn't it cute?
It is so cute.
Yeah.
And again, if you guys are in the LaPorte area, come out to Miomai. It's all locally sourced food, farm to table. Coffee's delicious, and just really, really beautiful, like kind people. So we definitely hope that you come in and check them out. And if you want pottery, Judson Pottery, freaking gorgeous coffee mugs, and all sorts of things. So thank you for joining us. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.
Bye, guys.